Seniors, what if the way you sleep every night is quietly harming your heart, your spine, and even your brain, without you ever realizing it? You may believe that sleep is simply about closing your eyes and getting rest, but the truth is far more serious. Some of the most common sleeping positions people rely on after 60 are actually accelerating pain, stiffness, and fatigue. And here's the shocking part. Most people never connect their worsening health to how they sleep. Tonight, that changes sleep posture is not a minor detail. It is a biological force that directly influences how your brain functions, how your spine holds up under pressure, and how efficiently your heart and lungs perform throughout the night. After the age of 60, the body becomes less forgiving. Muscles lose elasticity, joints become more sensitive to pressure, and circulation is no longer as efficient as it once was. This means that the position you maintain for 6 to 8 hours every night is no longer neutral. It either supports your health or slowly works against it. When your posture is misaligned during sleep, the spine is the first structure to suffer. The spine is not designed to remain twisted, compressed, or uneven for long periods. Yet many common sleeping habits do exactly that. A slight rotation of the neck, a dip in the lower back, or uneven pressure on the hips may seem harmless at first, but over time these small misalignments create persistent strain. This strain leads to inflammation, nerve irritation, and reduced mobility that becomes more noticeable with each passing year. The brain is also deeply affected by how you sleep. Proper oxygen flow is essential for brain repair and memory consolidation. When your sleeping position restricts breathing, even slightly, it limits oxygen intake. This can reduce the quality of deep sleep stages, the very stages responsible for restoring cognitive function. Over time, this contributes to brain fog, forgetfulness, and reduced mental sharpness that many people mistakenly attribute only to aging. Breathing itself becomes more vulnerable in poor sleep positions. When the airway is partially blocked due to head or neck positioning, the body must work harder to draw in oxygen. This creates stress on the cardiovascular system. The heart compensates by increasing effort, and over months or years, this added strain can contribute to fatigue, elevated blood pressure, and disrupted sleep cycles that prevent full recovery. Circulation is another critical factor that is often overlooked. Blood flow must remain consistent and unobstructed during sleep to deliver nutrients and remove waste from tissues. Certain positions compress blood vessels, particularly around the hips, shoulders, and neck. This compression may lead to numbness, tingling, or a dull ache that lingers into the morning. Over time, reduced circulation affects tissue health and slows the body's natural healing processes. There is also a direct connection between sleep posture and inflammation. When joints are held in unnatural angles for prolonged periods, the surrounding tissues become irritated. This irritation triggers low-grade inflammation, which builds quietly over time. For older adults, this can worsen existing conditions such as arthritis and contribute to chronic pain that limits daily activity. What makes this issue more serious is that the damage is gradual and often unnoticed in its early stages. Many people wake up feeling stiff or slightly uncomfortable and dismiss it as a normal part of aging. In reality, the body is signaling that something is wrong. These signals, when ignored, accumulate into larger problems: reduced flexibility, persistent discomfort, and a noticeable decline in physical confidence. Sleep posture also determines how effectively the body can repair itself. During deep sleep, the body works to rebuild muscle tissue, regulate hormones, and restore energy systems. Misalignment disrupts this process by creating physical stress that the body must manage instead of focusing entirely on repair. This means you may spend the same amount of time in bed, but wake up feeling significantly less restored. The most important realization is that sleep posture is not fixed. It is a controllable factor, one that can be adjusted with awareness and intention. Unlike many aspects of aging, this is an area where small, deliberate changes can produce immediate and lasting benefits. Each night becomes an opportunity to either support the body's natural recovery systems or interfere with them. And over time, those choices compound, shaping not just how you feel in the morning, but how well your body continues to function in the years ahead. What many older adults fail to recognize is that some of the most familiar and comfortable sleeping positions are quietly placing the body under stress, creating conditions that encourage acid reflux, compress delicate nerves, and restrict healthy blood circulation. After 60, the digestive system becomes more sensitive. The valve that keeps stomach acid in place weakens over time, making it easier for acid to travel upward into the esophagus. When you lie in certain positions, especially flat on your back without elevation or on your right side, gravity no longer helps keep that acid down. Instead, it allows stomach contents to move upward, irritating the lining of the throat and chest. This leads to nighttime heartburn, a burning sensation that can disturb sleep, and over time, damage the esophagus if left unaddressed. The danger is not always immediate discomfort. In many cases, acid reflux occurs silently during sleep. You may not feel the burning, but the damage continues beneath the surface. Over time, this can lead to chronic inflammation, coughing, hoarseness, and disrupted sleep cycles that prevent deep restorative rest. Nerve compression is another hidden consequence of poor sleeping positions. The human body contains a network of nerves that travel through tight spaces in the neck, shoulders, and hips. When you sleep in a position that places prolonged pressure on these areas, those nerves become compressed. This compression interferes with normal nerve signaling, leading to numbness, tingling, or sharp pain that may extend into the arms or legs. For example, sleeping with your arm tucked under your body or your head tilted at an extreme angle can compress nerves in the shoulder and neck region. Over time, this repeated adduct weakens nerve function and contributes to chronic discomfort that does not resolve easily. Many people wake up with a pins and needles sensation and dismiss it, not realizing it is a warning sign of repeated nerve stress throughout the night. Circulation, perhaps the most overlooked factor, is deeply influenced by how you position your body during sleep. Blood vessels must remain open and unobstructed to ensure that oxygen and nutrients reach every tissue. When certain positions place pressure on major blood flow areas, such as the hips, thighs, or shoulders, they can partially restrict circulation. This restriction may not be noticeable at first, but over hours of sleep, it reduces the efficiency of the body's recovery process. Muscles receive less oxygen, tissues repair more slowly, and metabolic waste is not cleared as effectively. The result is waking up feeling heavy, stiff, and fatigued, even after what should have been a full night of rest. In older adults, reduced circulation carries even greater consequences. The body already faces natural declines in vascular efficiency, so any additional restriction can amplify the problem. Over time, this contributes to swelling in the extremities, increased discomfort in pressure points, and a gradual decline in physical resilience. There is also a strong connection between these physical stresses and sleep quality itself. When the body is under strain, whether from acid reflux, nerve adduct, or restricted circulation, it cannot fully relax. Even if you remain asleep, your body stays in a semi-alert state, constantly adjusting to discomfort. This prevents you from reaching the deeper stages of sleep where true healing occurs. The cumulative effect is subtle but powerful. Night after night, these positions create a cycle of incomplete recovery. You wake up slightly more tired, slightly more stiff, and slightly less energized. Over weeks and months, this becomes your new normal, and you begin to accept it as an unavoidable part of aging. The truth is that it is not unavoidable. These issues are not simply the result of getting older, they are often the result of habits that can be corrected. Recognizing the impact of sleeping positions is the first step toward breaking this cycle. When you understand that something as simple as how you lie down can influence digestion, nerve health, and circulation, you begin to see sleep not as passive rest, but as an active process that must be supported with intention. Each night presents a choice. Continue patterns that quietly strain the body, or adopt positions that allow it to recover, restore, and function at its highest level even after 60. There is a powerful shift that occurs when you begin to understand that sleep is not just about duration. It is about quality, positioning, and how effectively your body is supported through the night. After the age of 60, recovery does not happen automatically. The body requires the right conditions to repair joints, restore muscle tissue, and regulate essential systems. One of the most overlooked yet highly effective ways to improve these conditions is through strategic repositioning. During sleep, joint pain is one of the most common challenges older adults face, and it is often made worse, not better, by habitual sleeping positions. When a joint is placed under constant pressure for hours, the surrounding tissues become irritated. This leads to inflammation, stiffness, and a reduced range of motion the following day. However, when the body is positioned correctly, pressure is distributed evenly, allowing joints to rest instead of endure strain. For example, placing a pillow between the knees while sleeping on your side keeps the hips aligned. Without this support, the upper leg pulls downward, twisting the pelvis and placing stress on the lower back. Over time, this misalignment contributes to persistent discomfort that many people struggle to explain. With proper support, the spine remains neutral, and the hips are allowed to relax into a natural position. Breathing efficiency is another critical factor that improves with intentional positioning. As the body ages, lung capacity and respiratory strength may gradually decline. Certain sleeping positions, especially those that compress the chest or restrict diaphragm movement, make breathing more shallow and less effective. This reduces oxygen intake and prevents the body from entering the deeper stages of sleep required for full restoration. When you adjust your position to keep the chest open and the airway unobstructed, breathing becomes smoother and more consistent. This allows oxygen to flow more freely throughout the body, supporting brain function, heart health, and cellular repair. The difference is often noticeable, waking up feeling clearer, more alert, and less fatigued. Sleep cycles themselves are deeply influenced by comfort and alignment. The body moves through different stages of sleep, each playing a specific role in healing and recovery. If discomfort is present, whether from joint pressure, poor alignment, or restricted breathing, the body is more likely to shift, wake slightly, or remain in lighter sleep stages. This disrupts the natural progression into deep sleep, where the most important restorative processes occur. Strategic repositioning reduces these interruptions. When the body is properly supported, it can remain still and relaxed for longer periods, allowing it to move naturally into deeper sleep stages. This is where muscle repair accelerates, hormones are balanced, and the nervous system resets. Without reaching this stage consistently, the body never fully recovers, no matter how many hours are spent in bed. There is also a direct impact on circulation and fluid balance. Proper positioning prevents unnecessary pressure on blood vessels, allowing circulation to remain steady throughout the night. This ensures that nutrients are delivered efficiently and waste products are removed from tissues. As a result, swelling is reduced and the body feels lighter and more mobile in the morning. What makes strategic repositioning so powerful is its simplicity. It does not require medication, expensive treatments, or complex routines. It requires awareness and small, deliberate adjustments that align the body with its natural structure. These adjustments, when practiced consistently, create a compounding effect, each night building on the last to improve overall health and comfort. Many older adults accept poor sleep as an inevitable part of aging. They believe that waking up stiff, tired, or uncomfortable is something they must learn to live with. In reality, much of this discomfort is preventable. It is not the result of age alone, but of positions that fail to support the body's needs. When you begin to reposition your body with intention, you take control of a process that has long been overlooked. You create an environment where healing is no longer interrupted, where breathing is no longer restricted, and where joints are no longer under constant strain. The result is not just better sleep, it is a stronger, more resilient body that carries you through each day with greater ease, confidence, and energy. There comes a point after 60 when comfort is no longer enough. Your body begins to demand support with precision, and nowhere is this more important than during sleep. For decades, Many people treat pillows and mattresses as simple accessories chosen for softness or habit rather than function. But as the body ages, these tools become essential for maintaining alignment, reducing strain, and protecting vulnerable joints and muscles throughout the night. The spine is designed to rest in a neutral position where its natural curves are supported rather than forced out of place. Without proper support, gravity begins to pull the body into misalignment. The neck tilts forward or sideways, the shoulders collapse inward, and the lower back either flattens unnaturally or arches too much. These subtle shifts may not cause immediate pain, but over hours of sleep, they create continuous stress that the body must endure. Pillows play a critical role in preventing this stress. The height, firmness, and placement of a pillow determine how well your neck and head align with the rest of your spine. A pillow that is too high pushes the head forward, tightening the muscles in the back of the neck and restricting proper blood flow. A pillow that is too low allows the head to drop backward or sideways, creating uneven pressure that strains the cervical spine. What matters is not softness, but support. The goal is to keep the head in a position where it remains level with the spine, neither pushed forward nor pulled back. This alignment allows the muscles to relax fully, reducing tension that often carries into the shoulders and upper back. Beyond the head and neck, support must extend to the entire body. When sleeping on your side, the space between the knees becomes a critical point of alignment. Without a pillow in this space, the upper leg shifts downward, pulling the hips out of alignment and twisting the lower spine. This creates a chain reaction of strain that affects the back, hips, and even the knees themselves. By placing a pillow between the knees, you stabilize the pelvis and maintain a straight line from the neck down to the lower back. This simple adjustment prevents unnecessary rotation and allows the muscles surrounding the spine to release tension rather than compensate for imbalance. For those who sleep on their back, support under the knees is equally important. Without it, the lower back tends to arch, creating pressure on the lumbar spine. Over time, this pressure contributes to stiffness and discomfort that becomes more noticeable upon waking. A small pillow under the knees gently lifts the legs, reducing this arch and allowing the lower back to rest in a more natural position. The shoulders also require attention, especially for side sleepers. When the shoulder bears the full weight of the upper body without proper positioning, it becomes compressed. This can lead to pain, reduced mobility, and even inflammation in the joint. Adjusting the position of the arm, either by placing a pillow in front to support it or slightly rotating the torso, can relieve this pressure and protect the joint from long-term strain. Even the choice of mattress becomes part of this equation. A surface that is too soft allows the body to sink unevenly, while one that is too firm creates pressure points that disrupt circulation. The right balance supports the body evenly, working together with pillows to maintain alignment from head to toe. What becomes clear is that support is not optional. It is a requirement for healthy aging. The body no longer adapts as easily to poor positioning, and the effects of misalignment accumulate more quickly. Ignoring this reality leads to nights filled with subtle strain and mornings marked by stiffness, fatigue, and discomfort. When you begin to treat pillows and positioning as essential tools rather than afterthoughts, you create a foundation for true recovery. Each point of support becomes a safeguard, protecting your spine, easing your joints, and allowing your muscles to relax completely. This is how sleep transforms from passive rest into active restoration. It is no longer just about lying down. It becomes a deliberate act of supporting your body in the way it now requires, ensuring that every hour spent in bed contributes to strength, comfort, and long-term health. There is a common belief that meaningful health improvements require drastic changes, intense routines, or complex treatments. But after 60, some of the most powerful transformations come from small, consistent adjustments, especially those made every single night during sleep. What you do repeatedly shapes your body more than what you do occasionally. Sleep is the one activity that occurs daily for hours at a time, making it one of the most influential factors in long-term health. When small improvements are applied to something so consistent, the results compound in ways that are both measurable and deeply felt. Consider the impact of a slight adjustment in sleep position. One pillow placed correctly, one shift in alignment, one conscious effort to maintain a supportive posture. These changes may seem insignificant in the moment, but when repeated night after night, they begin to alter how the body responds. Muscles experience less strain, joints are no longer compressed in harmful angles, and the spine remains supported instead of stressed. Over time, this reduction in strain leads to noticeable improvements. Morning stiffness begins to fade. Movements that once felt difficult become easier. The body no longer starts the day in a state of recovery from poor positioning. Instead, it begins the day already restored, with energy that was preserved rather than drained overnight. Energy levels are one of the first areas where these changes become evident. When the body is properly aligned during sleep, it can enter deeper stages of rest without interruption. These stages are where true recovery occurs, where cells repair, hormones stabilize, and the nervous system resets. Without proper positioning, these stages are shortened or disrupted, leaving the body partially restored. By making small adjustments that support alignment and comfort, you allow the body to remain in these deeper stages longer. The result is a level of energy that feels more stable and sustained throughout the day. Tasks that once felt exhausting require less effort, and mental clarity improves as the brain receives the rest it needs to function effectively. Mobility is another area where the benefits become clear. Chronic stiffness often develops not just from daytime activity, but from how the body is held during sleep. When joints are compressed or misaligned for hours, they become inflamed and resistant to movement. Over weeks and months, this contributes to reduced flexibility and a growing sense of limitation. Small nightly corrections prevent this buildup. By keeping joints in neutral, supported positions, you reduce inflammation and allow tissues to recover properly. This preserves range of motion and supports a level of mobility that many people assume is lost with age. The difference is not dramatic overnight, but it becomes undeniable over time. Cognitive clarity is also influenced by these changes. The brain relies on quality sleep to process information, clear waste, and maintain focus. When sleep is fragmented due to discomfort or poor positioning, these processes are interrupted. This leads to forgetfulness, slower thinking, and a general sense of mental fatigue. Consistent improvements in sleep positioning create a stable environment for the brain to function at its best. Over time, this supports sharper memory, better concentration, and a more alert state of mind throughout the day. What makes these adjustments so effective is their simplicity. They do not demand extra time, physical exertion, or financial investment. They require awareness and the willingness to make small corrections that align with how the body is designed to function. This makes them sustainable, and sustainability is what leads to lasting results. The body responds to consistency with adaptation. When you provide it with proper support night after night, it begins to operate more efficiently. Pain signals decrease, recovery improves, and overall resilience increases. These are not temporary benefits. They build upon each other, creating a foundation of health that strengthens over time. Ignoring these small factors allows minor issues to grow into larger problems. Addressing them early, with simple and intentional changes, prevents that progression and keeps the body functioning at a higher level. Each night becomes an opportunity to invest in your future health, not through effort or strain, but through alignment, support, and consistency. These small decisions, repeated over time, have the power to reshape how you feel, how you move, and how you experience each day after 60.